Good morning.
Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
afternoon.
Oh, you're right. I think because
Okay,
it's
hi.
snowing and it's
Uh-huh.
cold, it feels like good morning.
It does.
However, it's good afternoon. My name is Jennifer Tom,
And I'm Darlene Rampel.
and we are excited because it's Grief Talk, and we love this topic for the month, and it's about how to build strong relationships. Oh my goodness. I am excited, and we have a special guest who will be joining us, and she's a beautiful soul, and her name is Ava Bartsch.
She's been on before. She shared about the run or something about wells, right?
Yes. So, if you're having your lunch with us at Grief Talk today, please join us. Share this with a friend. Um, Comments, have questions. Last week we had an amazing session, and we shared about the 3 E's.
We did. And
And
what are the 3 E's again?
yes, the first one was to build strong relationships. We need empathy. That is where we listen and care for each other, even though we haven't, even though we don't agree.
Yes, that's a keystone, empathy.
Empathy. I love that. I love that. The second E was enthusiasm.
Yes.
It's hard to love without enthusiasm. Darling, you can explain that one. I love what you said last week.
What did I say last week? Sometimes enthusiasm is natural and we're an enthusiastic person like Jen and we're all excited all the time, and some of us are a little more introvert and we have to actually work on being enthusiastic and actually working on that.
I love that. And our third E was encouragement, where we build stronger relationships if we can be the people who encourage instead of complaining all the time. We're not saying it's bad to complain. However, the scale should be like this: more encouragement and less complaining.
And criticizing, baby, right? How to be an encourager and not a criticizer.
Yes,
or an analyzer.
I like that.
Yeah.
So, Darling, do you want to share something while I connect our guests?
She's putting me on the spot, so I have to think. So, we're talking about building relationships. So, how many of us need help building relationships? How many? We all need to work on our relationships. So, we're happy, to connect. And I am just out of words.
I love that. I love that. You know, when we talk about, so Eva will be joining us here shortly, and she wants to share how we had a retreat this weekend. And if you're watching us and you were there, please give us a thumbs up, because that was a powerful moment where we all learned how to build stronger relationships. So when the retreat started, our guest is having technical issues. We'll support her here shortly. The first thing, all of us, we were all strangers from all over, and our purpose for the retreat was to reconnect because we've been so disconnected with COVID. So when we got there, we all asked ourselves to give an intention for our retreat.
Okay.
And this was so good because lots of us shared our intention of being there. I'm going to share mine. My intention for the weekend was to be open, to love and be vulnerable.
Wow.
To be open, love and be vulnerable. And I also had another one which worked so well, was to be present. And so when we make intentions, even with our relationships, it helps building stronger relationships. So let's say my relationship with Darlene. to build our relationship, I have an intention with Darlene. Number one is to be honest with her, because honesty is everything, right? And also to be caring. So my question to you is, what's your intention for the relationship that you want to build?
Yeah.
Do you have any
Intention is
comments?
so important because we kind of slide through life and we slide through relationships. And if we never make that intention, we often just continue on doing what we're doing. And usually, oftentimes, it's not working or it's just status quo. But a relationship won't change unless we make that intention.
That's amazing. Eva, I hope it all works out here. We have seen you connecting, because our guests are so excited that you'll be joining us and sharing about building strong relationship. So, as we wait, I want to share that we need. There are three kinds of relationships, or three kinds of friendships. And number one is, we have friends who are old friends who no longer align with our lives, right? Like, that is one.
Mm-hmm.
The other kind of friendship we have is maintenance friends. We have a good connection. However, we do not build life together. And about maintenance friends, I like to share that it's good to release that guilt that you're not connecting every day.
Okay.
And then we have growth friends or new friends.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you share life with these people and you align yourself with the way you're working life.
Okay.
So for our retreat, I feel like we met growth friends. Awesome. Because we aligned, we want to reconnect, we want to connect, we want to do life together. So I'm just so excited that as we go through this month of how to build a strong relationship, think about the friendships in your life. Do you have old friends, maintenance friends, or growth friends? Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm just glad that Eva is able to connect with us. Hello, Eva.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
We
Yes.
can.
Oh, technical difficulties. You got to love them, right? So I'm on my phone. We're going to do what it takes.
Doing whatever it takes. I love that. Welcome to Grief Talk, Eva. And we are honored you've joined us despite all the technical difficulties. And Eva, I just shared with our friends that every month we have a theme on Grief Talk that we talk about. And I thought this month is so perfect because it's how to build strong relationships. And last week, which was our first week, we talked about there are 3 E's to build stronger relationships. Just to share with you, the first E is to have empathy. That is listening and caring. And Eva, you are just a master of this. Even though we don't agree, like, empathy is when you listen and care for your friends, even though you don't agree. And Eva, you have taught me how to do that. So thank you.
Oh.
Our second E is enthusiasm. Darlene and I were talking. It's actually hard to love without enthusiasm. And my last E is encouragement, where we encourage each other more than complain. This doesn't mean we shouldn't complain. This just means we should encourage each other more than complaining. So those are our 3 E's that we started off with. And Eva, we invited you here because we think you're the master of building good relationships. So we're gonna just let you share with us and share about the retreat and share how are you able to build all these amazing relationships in your life, Eva?
Oh, you are too kind, by the way, Jennifer, and thank you for all your beautiful, kind words. I do believe that you maybe shared a bit. Did you share a little bit as to why we put the retreat on?
I shared a little bit. However, I want you to share. Just tell us. Tell us, Eva.
Well, we sat down and we really were talking about what people are needing right now. And connection was definitely one of the big topics that came up for us. Just, with people being isolated and not connecting with each other. That was very important to create an atmosphere of openness, authenticity, connection, vulnerability. And that's how we built out the retreat. And we also really wanted people to start dreaming again and envisioning the best for their lives. So going in with those two things, connection and dreaming again, that's where the idea for the retreat came about. And we were able to enroll other facilitators to come alongside with us. And they brought their beautiful modalities. So whether it was the drum circle or the sound bath, and also just the life visioning that we did. Just beautiful different modalities to connect. And I believe that when you are in a room with like-minded individuals and you're wanting the best for each other, you will experience exactly those 3 E's that you were talking about, that empathy for each other and each other's stories of where we've come from, where we are today. And you said enthusiasm. I mean, you can't help but be enthusiastic when you are in a room full of like-minded individuals. And your last E was, what was that one?
Encouragement.
Encouragement. So yes, just hearing people's stories and being with them. I mean, what better way to encourage each other on our journeys? And I mean, I know I left just on fire, super encouraged. And some of the feedback we got from the ladies too was just that it was a beautiful, beautiful atmosphere for them to connect and to see each other dream again and to kind of come alive. Like they just came away with this new invigoration for life. That was kind of my experience there.
I love it, Ava. And just before you came in, I shared how we all shared our intention for the weekend. And setting an intention I found it so huge, because everybody's intention, that's how they showed up the whole weekend. And what was your intention, Ava?
My intention when I first came in was to be grounded, to be loving, and to be vulnerable. And we had plenty of opportunities where we had some activities that I hadn't necessarily participated in before. And so it gave me definitely that opportunity to just be vulnerable and open to trying new things and stepping into it. And I know that one of the gals said she really appreciated just how even you and we stepped into that and were able to lead by example, which helped her feel comfortable. You know, like we were willing to, we're not quite sure how to do this and we're going to do it anyway. We're going to step into it. And I do agree with you that as the ladies set the intentions and we heard their words, how they stepped into it and showed up that way for the whole weekend. And it was beautiful. It was so beautiful to see them keep that intention alive.
Mm-hmm. So would you say, Eva, because the theme is about how to build stronger relationships, if there was 3 things or one thing you'd tell us how to do that, what would you say, Eva?
Number 1, show up as your true, authentic self. 100%. Because when you do, you allow the other person to show up as their true, authentic self. I'm sure we've all heard that Miriam Williamson quote, right? Where she says, it's our light, not our darkness that we're afraid of. And when we allow our light to shine, we also allow other people's light to shine. And, she goes on to say more. However, that's always stuck with me. Just be your true, authentic self when you come to a relationship, and be willing to be vulnerable. And of course, like Brene Brown, she has a million things on vulnerability that we can learn on. And I just adore her. Yet that is what creates that depth of relationship, to realize that we're all on a journey together, and it's okay to be yourself and support someone else to also show up authentically as themselves.
It's powerful. Yeah, so many times we try to be who somebody else wants us to be, or to get their approval of who we are, when we just need to be ourselves. It's a
Absolutely.
struggle.
And that's the environment we wanted to create with the weekend, just a place where all the gals could show up and they could just express exactly who they were. That was really important to us as we developed kind of the theme for the weekend.
Mhm.
I love that. I love that, Ava. Thank you for sharing that. That was huge. And Stronger Life Connections is all about connecting. And as we created this retreat, is Darlene and I, like, we are all about how can we connect? How can we connect? And we are so thankful we connected with you, Ava, because you showed us exactly how to build those strong relationships. And I would love to hear some of the feedback you got, because after we left that Eagle's Nest, I felt so much love. I felt, because, and you're right, Eva, because when you are yourself, there's a connection that happens just naturally, because when you're driven by love and not judgment,
Yes.
there is something magical that happens. And I felt all the people who came, we put all those things aside and were driven by love. And even after returning home, they had amazing things to say. Eva, do you want to share some of the things?
I absolutely will. And I know Dinah has given us some permission, so I'll just share a little bit what Dinah had said. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. So we had asked some questions. We sent out an email just thanking everyone for being there and participating. And so one of the questions was, what was your level of satisfaction? And she said, very satisfied. And, what did you love about the event? She said that she loved that there was goal setting and achieving, and that she loved that we had some roundtable exercises. She said the sound show was an experience I won't forget, and liked the drumming as well. And she said the added elements like our names on the doors, notepads, music, station set up upstairs, rocks, handout quotes, crackling fireplace, pajama popcorn party, gravity chair, blankets, like all these little things that she's saying, she said they just added to the experience and the ambiance. So she's giving us some glowing reviews here for sure. And she loved the hosting. She said we made everyone feel welcome and moved from each element without rushing the attendees. And that she loved that we showed leadership by participating as well. Yeah, so her biggest comment really was, ladies, you rocked it. You have so much to be proud of. And that was just from Dinah. So really appreciated your review there, Dinah, and for supporting us and coming out and bringing of herself. It really was beautiful.
I love that. Thank you, Eva, for sharing. And just so that our audience understand, this was the first retreat we've done. And there were some challenges before this.
Yes.
Huge challenges. However, we crossed the wall. And Eva, I just for our people who are listening,
yes,
do you want to talk about the challenges? Because it wasn't just all rosy. There are things that came up for us. It came up. We had doubt. We had fear. We had what if? What there was? What will people say? What if they don't get this? What if we don't deliver? However, being on the other side and seeing what happened is like, that's the connection we're talking about. So Eva, I know I said a few, however, I want you to tell the real story.
I love that. You're right, because it wouldn't have happened. And some of the obstacles and challenges we came across was, I know, like early on, and we're being vulnerable here because that creates connection, correct?
Yes.
And I know Jen and I hashing out the details of what we wanted at the event. we had some disconnect there, and we also need to work through some things to get on the same page.
Yes.
And I believe, when you were saying just coming at a place from non-judgment, like letting our judgments go, we had a few moments where we were confronted with some judgments as to the offerings that we were having at the retreat. And again, just in all vulnerability, it set us back a bit, and we thought, oh dear heavens, do we want to go ahead with this? Is that an obstacle that we can overcome? And then numbers, even, it wasn't I think it was possibly like just over a week before the retreat, we were still saying we need to get to 20 participants minimum for it to be a go. And I know we just really, both of us had felt like this is something that we should go ahead and do. And I just laid in bed and said, if this is something you want us to do, then we need at least 3 more participants, period. And that evening, 3 ladies registered all together. So,
Wow.
Again, that was just like this real testament to, like, yes, push through and make it a go. And I will tell you, the facilitators that came and joined us, they brought so much to the table as well, as far as beautiful elements, from candles to blankets to zero gravity chairs to, gorgeous artwork that they displayed to create a beautiful atmosphere. And that was like packing all of that up and getting it set up and getting it there. Like, you don't see the behind the scenes things. And I think it's okay that people don't see the behind the scenes things. It just ended up coming together and working really beautifully once we were there. And yet, you're absolutely right. We had some things to push through, and we did.
And I want to acknowledge that. So that's why this month, how to build stronger relationship. This is it. This is it. Where there is no judgment. We push through things. And especially after being disconnected for so long,
Yes.
to reconnect and then come home with our cup filled with so much love and connected with people that we did not know. That is what we need to do. And this is why we are showing up every Wednesday this month to share about ways to do that. And I'm so glad Ava joined us, because guess what? Pushing through the obstacles and creating a retreat is one way. And you did it, and we did it, and everybody in our group, we all know all the feedback and reviews that we've got. And thank you, Ava, for creating that, because you just honored our April month on ways to build stronger relationships.
Thank you. And thank you so much for being part of it. And Karina as well. It was beautiful for all of us to work together to bring it to fruition.
Yes. So at Stronger Life Connections, Ava, we look forward to learning more and what's coming on ways to build connections, and how we can continue to connect with others, and how we can continue to be open with others, so that we can flow with love and less judgment. I love what Brendan Bachard says: judge less, feel better.
That's a good one. Judge less, feel better all the time. That's so true.
Yeah, so thank you. Darling, do you have something to add before we let Ava go back to her lunch break?
Just one question. So again, we've all gone to lots of retreats and like had great experiences, but then we get back and sometimes it's kind of like, so how do you keep it going? Like, how would you encourage people to continue with that connection, or continue after they get home?
Number one, I think that, yes, typically when you go on a retreat, you get on a bit of a high, right? Because you're surrounded by so many like-minded people that have high energy. And so there is that natural high. You're kind of experiencing it with them. I think monitor your thoughts, right? Because we know thoughts are energy. right? So where are your thoughts? What are you thinking as you're continuing on through the day? And tap back into where your thoughts were when you were at the retreat. And to maintain that connection, it's allowing those connections to continue. Reach out and ask people where they're at. Be willing to get vulnerable with them in your everyday life to continue that connection. So I really think it's managing your energy. And by managing your energy is, what am I thinking? Go back to that high vibrational thinking that you had at the retreat.
Yeah. And keep applying what you've learned there. That's, I think, what I'm
Yeah.
hearing you say, right? Keep being vulnerable. Keep those intentions up.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Lacey, thank you for joining us. We usually come here every Wednesday, do a lunch break and a little chit chat visit. And thank you so much for joining us today. And Ava will forever be grateful. And I tell Ava all the time, I want to be like you when I grow up because you're a beautiful soul.
Oh, and I want to be like you ladies. Look, we're just doing good together.
Okay, till next Wednesday, we'll continue with this conversation about how to build stronger relationship. Please connect with us. Bye.